On this week's episode of A Drier Dose of Disney, Jared talks about Legoland in Southern California.
Welcome to this week's episode of A Drier Dose of Disney. I'm your host, Jared Dreyer, and today we are wrapping up the third in a three-part series where we are talking about some of the less visited parks across the nation, especially here in Orlando, and we're going to be telling you today about Legoland. So the last couple weeks, talked about SeaWorld Orlando and then SeaWorld San Diego. There is another SeaWorld, just wanted to call it out there out in Texas that you may want to go visit that I've never been to, so I'm not going to do an episode on that. But I wanted to talk to you about another park that I visited, and that is Legoland in Oceanside, California. So down in Southern California is Legoland, which actually is three parks in one. And so we're going to tell you all about that today and some of the really cool things there and who we recommend it for and what you're going to experience when you go there. But before we dive into it, I do want to ask, wherever you're listening to us or if you're watching us on the video format, click pause and find that subscribe button so that way you're going to get this content delivered into your inbox each and every week. And then if you find any tips or tricks that save you time or money, if you could support us over at Patreon, throw us a couple dollars there, become a regular subscriber, that's what keeps this podcast going. And so we really appreciate our subscribers as you help us out a ton. We want to thank all of our subscribers that are out there. Now, if you are watching us on video today, we are at the Drier Dose of Disney condo here in Orlando. And like I said, I keep trying to find different spots to film from. I am now filming with the kitchen in my background. I know it's probably not the coolest thing to see, but since we've done some of the other rooms and we've done some of our artwork, I wanted to show you another view here, another look at our condo here. And so this is the kitchen behind me. We do have cool Disney accents throughout the kitchen, including like a Mickey Mouse cookie jar. We've got the toaster. We've got the waffle iron that has the Mickey head on it. We've got Disney silverware and plates and all that kind of fun stuff that just really add that extra little special touch to your vacation, similar to going on a Disney resort. This is our condo. We absolutely love it. We love being down here. It's a lot of fun, but we definitely wanted to show off our condo in this series that I'm filming from here. Now, if you do want to rent our condo, it is available through Vrbo, through Airbnb, but we do have a link below to our direct booking site. You can go out there, search the dates you're coming to town, and if they're available, you're able to book it, and you'll be in contact with me, and we will get you all set up with all the door codes and cool stuff like that. It is a resort. It has a really cool large pool, so go check out the pictures online. And even if you aren't planning on booking it, if you want to just check out what it looks like, you can go click on that link, and it'll show you all the pictures. And you can take a look at our condo here in Orlando, which we absolutely love. And the best part is you will be saving money when you compare it to staying on property at Disney. And we're only 2 exits away from all the Disney stuff. So the highway cuts right into Disney parks, just 2 exits away from where we're at right now. It only takes us a few minutes to get there each and every day. And we are literally like a quarter of the price of a Disney hotel. And it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So you get a ton of space. It's awesome. This is definitely our home away from home. This is our favorite place to go to, and I love it here. So if I could move here, I definitely would. Today, we're going to be talking to you, though, about Legoland. So a few years ago when my daughter was younger, we did go to Legoland in Southern California. Just to give you an idea of where Legoland is, you obviously have LA in Southern California, where in Anaheim, you're going to have all the Disney parks. You're going to have Knott's Berry Farm. Up in Hollywood, which is about 45 minutes north, depending on traffic, is where Universal Studios is, although it's probably only about 20-some miles away. It takes about 40 minutes to get up there. If you go south of LA, it's about 90 miles down to San Diego, which is where SeaWorld is. We talked about that on our last episode. But at about 50 miles south of Disney is Oceanside, Carlsbad area of California, and that is where Legoland is. And Legoland is a newer park in the Southern California area. There is a Legoland not too far from our condo here in Orlando. We've never been just because our daughter now is 12 years old, and she really loves Harry Potter and all the roller coaster stuff. And Legos were never really her big thing. So we never did Legoland out here in Orlando, but we have done it in California. And I do want to talk about it because it was actually a pretty cool park. It was very unique. And what made Legoland so different than the other places is they really have tried to make it into this resort where you actually have 3-in-1 parks. So you have the theme park, which is what most people think of when they think of Legoland. You also have a water park, which is actually a common theme out here in Orlando. If you didn't know, Orlando also has water parks, like they've got the Volcano Bay up at Universal Studios, and then you've got Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach down by Disney. And so down at Legoland, obviously, they have a water park there. And then in Southern California, they also have an aquarium with it, which actually I think is really cool. If you've been down to Southern California, you have not a lot of aquariums. You've actually got SeaWorld that had some. Now, if you listen to that episode last week, we talked about how they've taken most of them out and they're pretty disgusting now. But you have Birch Aquarium in La Jolla, which is awesome. You've got the Legoland Aquarium. And then if you go up closer to San Francisco, around the Monterey Bay area, you've got the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which is probably the best one in California. So if you're looking for aquariums, that's the one I would start at. I will tell you, and maybe I should do an episode on this. If you want the best aquarium in the United States, hands down, it is the aquarium in Atlanta. We have been there. They have whale sharks in captivity. They have manta rays in captivity. They have one of the coolest shark exhibits I've ever seen, and that's brand new. It actually opened during COVID, and we had a chance to go there for a preview and absolutely loved it. So maybe I'll do an episode on the Atlanta Aquarium because it was honestly the coolest aquarium I've ever been to. But Legoland has an aquarium. So they've got 3 parks. They've got the hotels. They've got all the fun stuff there on site. When people are thinking, though, of parks in Southern California, Legoland's usually not at the top of their list. I will say, in my experience of going to Legoland, it is a fun park. It is definitely worth going to if you do have the little kids. So don't count it out. Definitely think about, you want to do your days at Disney. That is top priority. I would say all day long is Disney. Those are the best parks to go to. After Disney, I think Universal's great. I would say SeaWorld, probably not anymore if you listen to that episode. Legoland's up there. If you love roller coasters, then I would send you up to Magic Mountain in Valencia. And then Knott's Berry Farm is this little oddball right there in town as well that has some bigger roller coasters as well as some great food and some great items there that they sell from the farm itself. So I encourage you to go check that out. But Legoland definitely could be higher on a lot of people's lists and probably should be, because it is a fun park. They have a lot to do there with the 3 different venues that they have in place. But today I want to walk you through what I really enjoyed about Legoland and some of the top things there. And right out of the gates, I'm going to tell you that the rides aren't very big. Of course, this is geared more towards kids. And so the rides are more on par if you've been to Disney with like Gadget's Go Coaster or Goofy's Barnstormer or Goofy's Flight School out here in Orlando. So they're the smaller roller coasters. A Slinky Dog Dash is actually probably even a little bit bigger than most of the coasters, except for one of them out there at Legoland. So all in all, it's not very big rides out there, but that doesn't mean that they're not fun. And in fact, Legoland has one ride in particular that pioneered some technology that is now in use at Disney over at California Adventure with the new Spider-Man Web Slingers ride. So I do want to encourage you, Legoland is definitely worth checking it out. But because there are so many rides, and let me reiterate that. Going to Legoland, they have more rides than Magic Kingdom, I believe. There are tons of those like little kid rides everywhere. So they're not the big grand scale dark rides like you're going to see at Magic Kingdom or at Disneyland, but they do have tons of these little rides. So there's lots to do at Legoland. I'm not going to take you through each one. It would take me over an hour to get through each one. I'm going to talk to you about the top 5 rides that we saw at Legoland that we absolutely loved. And the ones that I would recommend, probably you want to go rope drop or go after right away. And they were a lot of fun. Even for an adult, I thought they were great. They were themed well. We had a lot of fun there. And the one that I want to talk to you about first is called the Dragon. And this is a roller coaster that's in the shape of a dragon. It starts in a castle. The castle walkthrough is really cool. It's got Lego minifigures throughout the castle, and it just looks awesome. So they themed it really well, but you get on, obviously, the dragon, and the dragon's going to take you out. That coaster is probably one of the bigger coasters there. It is, again, that's been the staple of the park. The dragon was the coolest roller coaster back when it first opened. And of course, they've added some really cool rides since then, but it still stands the test of time. And I can say it is definitely a flagship ride over at Legoland. So if you're considering going to Legoland, I encourage you to go online, check out the dragon. You can find YouTube videos of it. It's a lot of fun. The kids absolutely love it. And it's got a fun medieval theme with it. The next one, and this was my daughter's favorite, is the Technic roller coaster. So if you're familiar with Legos, they have the Technic line, which is this technical set that you can build with all kinds of gears and pulleys. And you can make cars, you can make different things that move. And then they have the little gearbox thing that you can power up with battery or charge it and use it and drive your things. So the Technic set is really cool. So they built a roller coaster along those lines. This is one of the taller roller coasters that's there. And we had a weird event there where we went when my daughter was young. She was able to ride the coaster. She loved it, said, "Can we go on it again?" We went on it a second time, and then the worker there said she was too short. And I can tell you her head was right up against the thing. She wasn't too short. That's why they let her on the first time, but the second worker stopped her. She was in tears. We decided to leave after that. You guys can understand it if you have little kids. So we were bummed she didn't get to ride it a second time, but it was her favorite roller coaster. It is actually a pretty thrilling roller coaster for little kids. So I definitely encourage you guys to go check that one out. That one is absolutely awesome. The next thing is the Lost Kingdom Adventure. And this on a lot of people's list is the top ride over at Legoland. This is very similar to Buzz Lightyear, the Space Ranger Spin, or the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, depending on which campus you're on for Disney. And this is one where you have a light gun, like a laser gun, and that you're going to go through and you're going to shoot skeletons. You're going to shoot different things that are coming at you throughout the ride, and you're going to get scored on it. So that one's a lot of fun. The kids absolutely love it. It's all awesome in the sense, or it's very well themed as being a Lost Kingdom. And it's a ride that you have a lot of fun with, and it's a very popular. Do know that going in. This is one that a lot of people do like to rope drop over the others just because it is so much fun and the kids think it's so interactive. The next one is actually a very popular Lego line, Ninjago. If you've not heard of that, is the Ninja Martial Arts line of Lego, and they have a lot of cool things with that. But they have got a Ninjago ride, which is the one that actually pioneered the technology that is being used on web slingers, where you get into this kind of booth box that is wide open in front of you, and then you can put your hands out through the booth, and that will instigate a shot. So basically, if you're going to be shooting at the enemy, you extend your arm and you're shooting, in that case, a ninja star at the bad guys. At Web Slingers, they have this on the campus there at California Adventures. You're shooting webs at the spider bots on that. So these are very similar designed rides. It's a lot of fun. It is very interactive. You can obviously rack up a cool score. And the kids that are into this Ninjago line absolutely love this ride because it puts them as part of the adventure. I think as far as interactive rides go and scorekeeping, this is better than the Lost Kingdom Adventure ride just because you're using your own hands and you're a little more interactive in it than you are shooting. But those are both great rides, and that one's a ton of fun. Their newest ride is what people say is the most popular, and I didn't get a chance to ride it because my daughter's now 12, and we went when she was closer to about 6. So it's been years, and this one actually just came out a couple years ago, and that's called Lego City Deep Sea Adventure. And everybody says that hands down, this is the best ride in the park because you're in this thing where it's taking you through an aquarium and you're looking for things, you're finding things as you go on this ride. And it's, again, very interactive. It's a lot of fun, and it's very high tech. So a lot of parents say that this is now the best ride in the park, and this one will probably have the longest lines. I can't verify that because I've not been there and I've not ridden it, but everything I've read online is that it's very cool. So know that you're going to have a ton of really cool rides. Again, none of them are too thrilling. Probably the fastest and biggest one's that Technic roller coaster over there in Legoland. But again, tons of fun. All the kids absolutely love it. I have nephews that have all loved Legos, and this has been one of their highlights of going to Southern California because they have family out there, is to go to Legoland. So you definitely want to check it out. Now, like I said, they do have 3 parks. I have not checked out all 3 parks. I have not been to the water park, and I've not been to the aquarium, but I have heard great things about both. It's definitely worth your time if you're going to be in the area for more than a week. Go down there and check out Legoland. You probably can't hit all the parks in one day, and the reason I say that is there is too much to see at Legoland, just the theme park itself. Like I said, it's got a ton of rides, and your kids, if they're very outgoing and they want to do rides, they're going to see ride after ride, and they're just going to want to ride all day long. The advantage of that, though, is because there's so many rides, the lines are relatively short. So that will help you a lot, and that'll keep the kids from melting down, especially if you're getting them food and drink between the rides. So I recommend doing that. But all in all, it is a really great park. There are tons of playgrounds throughout the park as well. So places where the kids can run around on like a ship or run around a different playground area with slides and have a lot of fun there. So you can get their energy out. So this is great for all ages. And then they've got lots of really cool Lego design stuff. So one of the coolest things that I saw was Miniland USA. They had, when I was out there, now since then, they've also done Miniland San Diego. I didn't get a chance to see that. But Miniland USA, they have a lot of the iconic buildings throughout the US that are built down to scale, and meaning it may be a 1/100th scale or maybe 1/50th scale of the building, where it's a 10-foot tall building or whatever instead of a 50-story building. And you get a chance to see what that looks like. So those are a lot of fun. I will even say in some of the walkthrough garden areas, when I was there, they had Star Wars stuff, and I absolutely love Star Wars. So that was one of the highlights for me, to see a big old R2-D2 built out of Legos. and all the cool Star Wars stuff. I don't know if that's all still there. I didn't see it on their website. And again, this was a few years ago. So definitely go walk through the different gardens and go check out the different Lego displays that are there. That's all a lot of fun as well. But that leads me to our I Can Do This All Day tip of the day. And for Legoland, that is if your kids are little. So I would say if they're under the age of 8, maybe even under the age of 10, depending on if they like Lego or not, the 2 Disney parks are right up their alley. That's perfect for them. But the third park should be Legoland. So Disney park levels, if you think about the rides you're going to find at Magic Kingdom, like the Peter Pan, the Snow White Scary Adventure, you've got the Dumbo ride, you've got Alice in Wonderland. If your kids love those kind of rides, they're going to like Legoland. Legoland's a lot of fun. If your kids like the Matterhorn at Disneyland, they're probably going to like the roller coasters at Legoland. They're not super intense. They're not as big as Thunder Mountain or even like Space Mountain. They're more like the Gadget Go coaster back in the Mickey's Toontown area. So if they like that, they're perfect for Legoland. You're definitely going to want to take them there, especially if they're not big enough to do the bigger rides that you're going to find at Universal or at Magic Mountain. So I encourage you to go check out Legoland and skip SeaWorld, skip Universal at that point and go down there and have a great time because it's a great park. And my daughter loved it. My nephews loved it. And I've never heard anyone have a negative experience at Legoland. Definitely you're going to want to go check that out. With that, we hope you have a magical week as you're planning your next vacation. And we will talk to you guys next week as we start a new episode. Bye-bye.